sing unto Yahweh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the...
Got you.
So I pray everybody was utilizing the stuff that Araya put in the group, Discord. So today I want to do a simple teaching on Genesis 1 and 1, right? So that's the great thing when you work with your students is to have a clear understanding of the book of Genesis 1 and 1. So let me 1 and 1. Okay. Everybody can do that? Oh.
Hey, Mario, mute your mic.
Have you heard? Hey, have you heard? Hey, have you heard? Okay. I don't know, man. All right. So we want to look at Genesis 1. All right. 1 to 1. And I'm trying to quick second. Let's see. 1 to 1. In a second. Let's put it come up. In a second. Genesis 1 and 1. All right. So I put Genesis 1 in the group. Everybody see that? All right. So if we was working with Genesis 1 and 1, how would some of y'all parse out the first word? What would the first word be? So let's read Genesis 1 and 1. In Genesis 1 and 1 is read. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the word Bereshit is what? That's a noun or a verb, masculine noun or feminine noun. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Messian. Okay. So okay. So it would be a feminine noun in the construct. You're correct in the construct. Bereshit would be a feminine singular construct noun with a bait preposition. Bait. Think of a driving 18-wheeler. The bait would be the cab, but the cab, right? That's a tractor. Then we know the final pronounced suffix tau would be your ending, right? To let you know whether it is masculine, it is feminine, right? Okay. So what would the shortest root be of this word Bereshit? Your shortest root can be a three-letter what consonants? So what would the three-letter consonant be? Messian. Okay. Excellent. Raya. Resh al Shin is your three-letter short root. and that would be the start or head or something from the Hebrew word rosh, which is head, right? Now, the next word, bara. So would the word bara be a verb or be a noun? Could it be a verb or noun? That's shown. So we see it is a verb. And what stem? What stem? Stem mean what verb stem would it be? Call, peel, evolve. Okay. So perfect. Perfect means complete action. Imperfect means you would have to have a yod or a tau out of in front of it to make it imperfect. So we see our vowels line up in the perfect verb stem. That is will be a what? Perfect verb or incomplete verb? Bara. Mission. Okay. So everyone seen how Araya is exegesing the text. He's deciphering the text. He's breaking the text what down. Okay. So we cover that Bereshit preposition, feminine saying construct noun from the shortest root, rosh, head, right? Now, what other word could we get out of the word Bereshit? If there's any word we can get out of the word, yes, Bereshit. Well, the word we can get out of the word Bereshit is the word Yashar, Yod, Shin, Resh. That means to make straight, right? Everything the Most High wanted Israel to do is was to be Yashar, be straight. All right. From
You said your shot means straight.
yes,
Okay,
yeah. We look
like
at
straight, like
look
straight
at
ahead, direct
yes,
street.
yes. We look at a word.
Okay.
Yeah, Yashar. See. Good question, Antikaya. Well, a lot of people say, "Well, I'm identifying myself as Israel." You kind of want to be careful with that because now it's the root word of Israel, which is a proper noun, and you do in the name Israel, you do see the word Yashar. That means that we supposedly be straight within our thinking. Because when you look at the name Israel, you see the same root Yashar in there, Yod, Shin, Resh. Yashar means to be straight. Y'all always wanted Israel to be straight. Y'all always wanted people to be straight. Because of deviation, call it DR, we deviated from the path of righteousness and went serving, hoeing after other were gods. Okay? Then we see the active voice bara, create, who create? Elohim, which is a plural noun. So if you was to take away the mem in Elohim, that would mean the gods of. The gods of. That wouldn't make no sense. Okay? The gods of will be in construct form, create the heavens and the earth. So that's why the mem is there, okay, to say Elohim. Okay, even though Elohim is a plural noun, but the word bara, that is a third masculine singular. So, okay, so now this let us know that Genesis 1 and 1 is speaking in a third person. Okay? Now, how do we know Genesis 1 and 1 is speaking in third person? How do we know? And not the first person, not the second person. How do we know it's speaking in third person? Mm-hmm. Shalom. Shalom, shalom, Sadiq.
No,
Okay.
no.
Shalom, shalom. Yes. So a lot of people miss that teach Hebrew. It's pointing to the subject. And also bara is a third master saying complete verb. So Genesis 1 and 1 speaking in the third person because of the word bara. You don't see the word anoki as first person or ni first person. Okay, you don't see atar in the second person. So if you don't see whether you see anoki, ani, or atar second person, then you gotta say, well, what tense is it speaking? It's speaking in third person. That's deep, right? So now you get to ask people, say, okay, well, when we look at Genesis 1 and 1, when it said, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim et haaretz, it's speaking in the third person. Your first clause is Bereshit bara Elohim. That's your first clause right there. You stop right there. You ask people, say, okay, well, can you identify your first clause in your text? Most of the time, they're going to say, well, no. Okay, let there be a teacher moment for you to teach them. Okay? Then we deal with our second clause. Et is a direct object. Et is not pointing to no one in the Hebrew Bible. It is a direct object marker. It's pointing to what? Hashemayim. You see the hey, which is your definite article. In the, you see Shemayim, which is the heavens. Okay, water comes from above, right? So we see the word there, mayim for water. All right. Then we see the conjunction we. Okay, then we see at again, direct object point to what? The earth, ha'aretz. Okay. The word earth is a feminine single noun with a definite article in the front of it. So what do y'all think? So again, there are some passages of the Hebrew Bible that Moshe Rabbeinu wrote. We can agree to that. But there are some passages in the Hebrew Bible, in the Torah, let's just say the Torah, that become questionable if Moshe really wrote all 5 books. Because here, Genesis 1 and 1 is speaking in third person. So how do we justify this? Is this Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher, right in the third person? Then when you get to ask people, say, well, what if he was right? If Moshe was right, Genesis 1 and 1, why did he wrote it in the first person or the second person? So these are the questions in our class that we learn and that we learn to teach others. And we ask other Moreh's professors to teach biblical Hebrew. Well, if Moshe wrote the 5 books, okay, then how do we rectify Genesis 1 and 1 speaking in third person and not the first person? So if we take the shortest root, Kaf Tau Bait Katev, how would we say I wrote? Can someone tell me I wrote? What would it sound like? What would it be like if I wrote something? So look at your shortest root, Kaf Tau Bait Katev. Can y'all give me an example of first person writing, second person writing, or third person writing? Give me 3 examples. Anybody? Except Takaya and Maya, they're still learning.
Can you say that again? I just stepped back in the room.
Okay. Can one of y'all give me an example of the word kaf, tau, bait, katab I wrote in the first person, second person, third person? Because if Moshe wrote the book of Genesis, then why is Genesis 1 and 1 being spoken about in the third person? Because the word bara is the third masculine singular verb. Perfect. We know there are certain parts of the 5 books of the Torah. He did wrote, but he completely wrote all 5 books.
Are you saying asking for?
Okay. Okay. That's young.
Second person
Okay.
would have been Katab Shelka, or
That's young.
depending on
That's
he was talking to a female or male.
that's young. Excellent. Excellent. Araya and Shemaiah. Excellent. So you see how these simple things that a lot of people miss out. I just say sometimes they never basically thought about it. I'm not going to say they attention and did it, but they learn the basis of a Hebrew grammar. They just run and just stop. No, this is a commitment that we got to do the rest of our lives, right? And then let's make it more plain sense. Look at verse 2. Someone read verse 2 to me in Hebrew. Let me get a reader. Mhm. Okay, I'm a.m. Okay, that's it. Excellent, excellent. So let's pick it apart. So we look at again, we see the conjunction. We see a different article. Okay, we see outer res zadi, haretz, that's a feminine noun with a conjunction. Now we see the word hayatah, that is a what feminine singular noun. What's the gender? Hayatah is feminine. How do we know it's feminine and not masculine? What give it away? Okay, and there you go. They give it away. And what's the number? Could it be second person, third person? Second person, third person. Feminine singular. Okay, that's mhm. All right. Hayatah. Okay, and the earth was okay because remember the word earth is feminine. It is followed by a what verb? Okay, a feminine verb in the call verb stem, feminine singular. Then we see tohu, and we see wabohu, and we see we koshek. So the word for darkness, would it be a feminine noun or a masculine noun?
It would be feminine.
Yeah, everybody agree? Y'all sure? The word darkness is feminine?
It's what
It's masculine or feminine?
I would have said. I would have said feminine because of the final cough. It ends with those two dots instead of a ka,
Mhm.
which would have
Okay,
made it masculine. But I'm always
okay,
room for improvement.
okay. Okay. So, everybody agree? Listen, listen, listen to the vowels. Go back and look up top at Earth and Hayatah. Then come back and look at the word Wikoshek. So we got no. Why you doubt yourself? I mean, you're right. I mean, it is a masculine singular noun, but sound we check 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 check. Now Shamal was on to something. He was on to something very powerful. It's like we can say Mashalom Kahaki. That's speaking to yes, and our brother has peace. Mashalom make a koti, which speaking yes, and sister has her peace. So we see we check. What's the vowel underneath what that shin?
It's the E
We
class
check.
vowel.
That's an E class vowel. Okay. But you notice the A class vowel in the word for earth, and the earth was. And look underneath the word earth. What's underneath that resh? What's the name of that vowel?
It's a goal.
It's the goal.
Yeah, it's a goal. Yeah.
Okay. So we see that's the goal underneath the shin. So there are times in the Hebrew Bible, again, I want y'all to catch what Shema say. Tell where that final Sophie calf, sometimes it could be masculine. But in context here, I mean, it could be feminine. I'm sorry, it could be feminine, but in context here is what masculine because of tohu wabohu. Tohu wabohu are masculine nouns, and darkness was what? Al panay on the pace of what? To whom the waters. Now watch this right here. We rock the A class vowel. Now is ruach masculine or feminine? Okay. So why would you say feminine? Okay. Everybody else? Everybody,
Yes, because of the hay at the end. That's what I was thinking of feminine.
rock is that's the cat.
Yeah,
So
Say it again.
it's
the
a cat.
subject.
The word the word the word the word rock. You have a cat there.
Yeah.
Cat. So how Uriah was able to figure out that the gender was a masculine singular noun because it's short A class vowel in the sound ruach, 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 ruach. So that's why we always tell people you take away the Naku system. How would you can tell the difference where something is masculine and something is feminine? So now, because the word ruach is masculine, Elohim is masculine. So if ruach was feminine here in this particular what takes, then what would that make Elohim? that that make Elohim. Okay. Then next word we had there me, rocket pets. Okay. So now that's the subject. The subject is moving upon the face of the waters. What type of verb is the word rocket pets? Could this word be in the PL verb stem? And could it be okay? Mission. So we see the subject is doing what? The action. What's the subject doing? It's moving upon the face of the water. What's moving the face of water? The rock of Elohim. So it's deep, right? Okay. Let's look at verse what 3. Verse what 3 say, Wayamir Elohim yihi or wayi or. So what type of verb would the word Wayamir be? So what I do, I'm gonna look at my verb chart and I'm gonna look for Aleph Mem Resh, first Aleph verb in my verb charts. First Aleph. So here, you want to use your grammar books, y'all can see that. This is first Aleph verb, right? So now, would this be an imperfect or perfect verb? How can we parse this verb out? Would it be perfect or incomplete? So remember that in biblical Hebrew, incomplete means an incomplete action, or it could be a yikatol verb. A yikatol verb is something, it can be past tense, it can be future tense, or it can be a continuous action, something will happen in the future. Or it can be a walk-a-tall verb. And I write that down and put it in the group. But I would translate like this phrase. Mhm. Mhm. I'm gonna give y'all a good one today. Look up biblical Hebrew prefix preterite. Prefix preterite in biblical Hebrew. So when you look at a lot of my parsons, when I see that woe with a short class vowel, and I see that yod with a I class vowel, I'm gonna translate it as a third masculine singular prefix conjugated preterite. I want you to look up preterite. Yes, sir. Tell me the definition. Mhm. Messiah. So now, good catch, Araya. So now, when we parse it out, we would just say that it's ID stem, a call verb stem, third masculine singular prefix pederast. Those that us among the group of those that study biblical Hebrew, we already know when a person used the word pederast. We already know. We already know it's a Yekatol word. Okay. But we are translating, we are leaving it like that because when someone engaged us, we say, okay, well, this is how the prefix conjugation paired function. Like we know it said, while you're mirror and save. Okay. So he said, who? Elohim, Yihi, let there be what? Or light. And he repeat again, why you ha or. Okay, so you see how it was? See the word Yihai, and Wayiha is mentioned too. The first time is mentioned with Yod, hey Yod. Then the second time mentioned with a Wa, with a class A vowel. Okay, then Yod, hey Yod, or. So how should we really look at this thing right here? Was verse 3 really complete? Now, since Araya read what a parrot means, when he said, let there be light, okay, okay, okay. And why do we say that? Because look at verse 4. Verse 4 said what? What year? That's another parrot. So you see two parrots back to back. Verse what 3, verse what 4. And he saw who? Elohim at Ha'or. You see what the direct object marker point to what the light is what he told, for it was good. Now you see the word, another prefix parrot, Wayibdal. And Wayibdal mean what? And he divided what? It mean divided. But what verse then? In verse 4. Wa, Yo, Beit, Dalet, Lamed. What verse then would they in? I give you the answer. Be using the hip field. Look at the vowel setting for hip field. Good question. Good question, everybody. So always keep, again, this is something I made, over a decade ago. So every time I'm parsing, I always reference my grammar sheet. One time I did it, I got comfortable years ago and I posted something on social media and my teacher called me out less than, the post wasn't up on Facebook 10 minutes. And he knew that I deviated from what I was taught. So to make sure, I'm going to go to my strong verbs on my chart and I'm going to look at the vowel settings for his here. First, you want to study it. So if in your grammar books, your Hebrew grammar books, if you go to Hiphil and you look at your vowels for the imperfect, okay, you can see those same vowels for, well, you might see, what's right here with Yibdel, you're going to see a seri, okay, but you would see your first initial vowels for the term Yibdel, okay? So you can see that. So I look in the hip field, y'all probably can see it's red, but if you look in your verb charts in the hip field, you'll see your first initial vowels was the day giveaway in sound. So you want to also remember sound. Hip field, hip, hip, hip. So we look at the hip field, hip tail in strong verbs. And I listen to the sound with yip there. Six, with yip there. So the vowel setting is going to always be a day giveaway too. That's why I always say, always reference your grammar chart. Always. Because a writer asks a good question, a good valid question, and you don't want to get caught with your pants down. Someone asks you a question, you can't get offended. I will always reference your grammar chart. If you don't know off the top of your head, it's okay. Give me a second. It's okay. Then they might say, well, how do you know? You don't want to say because a app told me. You want to be able to reference your resources and say, okay, well, I'm looking at my strong verb here. I'm looking at the vowel settings, and this is why I say that it is a what Hifil or Yipdale, Hifil, prefix conjugation preterite. So the creator calls something to be divided. What he calls to be divided? Ben ha'or, u ben hakoshek. Okay, the light from the darkness, or the light from in between the darkness. U ben meaning in between. It's interesting, right? So saw was caused to be done. He saw, Vayir Elohim et ha'or kitol, Yebder Elohim ben ha'or, u ben hakoshek. So this is why the verb stems are so important to master and learn. So we are thinking, brothers.
I'm following.
Okay. Then let's look at another preterite verb, verse 5. So we see all these preterite verbs in the biblical word text. So some might say, well, why is Shayl and Araya saying what he's saying? No problem. So again, for many years, my teacher would not give me access to his professor until I proved myself. So once I proved myself, my teacher gave me access to the lady that taught him. I'll show you something 1 second. Six. They got it. So this is my teacher, Professor Work. So if I say something, I teach y'all something, lo and behold, I have the resources, and I take a picture. So this is a scholarly book by a very top scholar in the world, academia of Biblical Hebrew. And let's put something in the group, take a picture. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Take a picture. And I'm about to put it in the group. Give me 1 second. And let me know when y'all get this picture. Let me know when y'all get it. So this right here is one of my teacher professors later taught Septium Middle. So when we start getting into academia Hebrew, it's like we have to really, really invest our money and time into our
Got it.
books. Okay. You have to really invest your money because you can have people that come at your heads say, okay, well, show me what you're talking about. Who are you citing? So y'all read that for me, what she said.
The one word order VSO V first is strongly as okay. Wait. This is so because the one word order VSO V first is strongly associated with the preterite perfect. What was it? Perfective. Oh yeah, perfective.
Yes.
The Wayikatal form erroneously labeled imperfect. The most frequent tense aspect in the narrative text, while another SVO or XV, i.e., another constitute precedes the verb.
Okay.
Keep reading.
So what are we learning? We are learning we have the ability, to say imperfect. We have the ability to say perfect too. We have that skill set. And we can explain why, right? So among us, yes, 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 mhm, yes, yes. Mhm. That's it. Mhm. Yes, yes, and that's why I always say encourage y'all to study your grammar books. Not to study grammar books. If you're not trying to, let me say this, you're not trying to be a minister, be a Moreh, then stick with the grammar books. Like for me, I'm like a scribe. I'm teaching y'all to be scribes. So you can't stay in the grammar books forever. You have to elevate your understanding. You have to elevate your parsing ability. You have to elevate when something is to be sung or when something is to be read. You have to understand the Hebrew what accent marks. Like the knock, that's your first clause. When you see it, that's your first clause. If you have a bunch of words in the Hebrew Bible, then you got to be looking for your pause. You got to know when something is a class vowel, when something is an O class vowel. So it's a lot of stuff we have to cover in biblical Hebrew. But like Araya said today, it take everybody when everybody can, and we understand everybody got families, this and that. But again, at least communicate and say, listen, I cannot make it to class because what we don't want to do is keep going back. There's no need for me to keep going to my bookshelf, showing y'all books. And it just, I always say, it just can be a waste of time. But I really, whether y'all get it and ask questions, right? So when I look at the next word, where we at? Verse what 5. That's another prefix period. Wayikra. Wayikra Elohim the or. Yom Wilokushak. Kara Leila. Wayehi Ereb. Wayehi Boko Yom Akkad. And that's verse 5. So we look at the vowel settings. I look at the vowel settings. I already know what the very first word there, prefix period third master saying is call verb. I already know Elohim master singular noun. Leor preposition master singular noun. Yum master singular noun. We local shet conjunction master singular noun. Kara call, okay, call third master saying complete verb. Okay, how about the word layla? Would the word layla for night be feminine or would it be singular? Okay, okay, yeah, layla, night. Okay, that's your own. So everybody agree? Everybody agree that the word for night is a feminine singular what now?
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Deep, right? You catching on, Raya. So there scribes that wrote stuff in the Hebrew Bible, I'm gonna show y'all, which sometimes can become very controversial because you look at the word Layla, it gives every point of a feminine noun, feminine singular noun. But sometimes certain grammar books and things like that will say, well, that is a masculine noun. Okay, or it's a feminine noun. So you gotta always stick within the context. That's where textual criticism coming at. And that was what? Ereb, that was even. Wahi, that was Boker. That was Yamakad. That was what? Day one, right? Now you see the prefix pair again in Wayomir, verse 6, Elohim. Okay? Ihirakia. Okay, and say Elohim, what? Ihi what? Oh, you want to say let there be what? Expansion. Okay. Rakia, be told between what? The heavens. Okay. Oh, you want to say the waters. Hamayim, we high, mid there. How about verse 6? Mem bait, dalit, yod, lamed. What's the day giveaway in verse what 6? A mem bait, dalit, yod, lamed. Your yods. Your yods a day giveaway. That's a hit field. It's a day give. You can see a lot of icons about yes, and you can see that Shiva. So when you go from your purpose, yes, and that mem is a day giveaway too what type of hit field verb this is in the yo's day giveaway. So now when you're translating, so the Elohim is causing, he's causing something to be what? Divided. What is he causing to be divided? And while your male say Elohim, Yahrakia, okay, let it be, okay, be told, okay, let there be expansion between what? Expansion between what? Waters and waters. So now we got to ask ourselves, how can that be expansion between the waters and waters? it's okay. This is what we work together as a team. So a couple things I want to share today in today's class. Notice how verse 1 start off in the third masculine singular. Then after that, you start seeing Elohim saved, which is a masculine plural noun. Let that be. We see why you're a mirror. So now you can come back and say, okay, brothers and sisters, are you trying to disagree with me? Not y'all, I'm just saying, if y'all speaking in front of a congregation or doing a seminar, look at the word why you're a mirror. That's third master singer too. They're speaking in third person. What year? Verse 4. That's speaking in the what? Third person. What Yikra? Third person. So you see all these texts speaking in third person, all these verses. And I encourage y'all to send an email to professors, your Hebrew teacher, whoever your Moreh is, to ask them about this stuff. Say, why is this speaking in third person? We don't see no first person, second person. We see third person. So this is speaking in third person. Did Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher, wrote this right here? Or what this somebody is writing? And these are questions we must seek to find out to advance our understanding in the biblical text. What y'all thinking? Yeah, because people just tell y'all anything. It sounds smart. But I don't keep nothing from y'all. As always, we supposed to be one team, one voice. But again, for some odd reason, our people in our community, we have a very long way to go. But this is why that y'all young generation, y'all gonna take this stuff more far than we are taking it. I'm just glad that I'm a part of it, myself and Maya are part of the elders, just to encourage y'all to never get comfortable. Take what y'all are learning and master and run with it. You'll never gotta say, well, this is what Moreh said. No, say this is what the hell Moreh and us, we learn together. Y'all see the different phrase I use? We learn together. Because any Hebrew teacher is can give you the same resources where you got this stuff from for you to read it for yourself. We cannot continue to say that what the people ain't ready at. What the people ain't ready at, send their ass on down the yellow brick roads. Because the mind spread to get online and ask me to do something after 12 years, you think I'm gonna look a fool in front of y'all? I'm confident in my skill set. And I want y'all to be confident in y'all skill set and what y'all learning. Ask questions. Don't let a person, man, say anything to y'all and y'all ask them questions. So now y'all got some more, y'all got some more ammunition. You can say, listen, if you can ain't break down the first chapter of Genesis, then we don't even need to have a conversation. Is it speaking first person? Well, did Moshe wrote it? Well, Moshe wrote it, how can Moshe be speaking in third person? Numbers 12 and 3, now the man Moshe, that's speaking in third person. So now they gotta say, okay, well, Moshe wrote this, Moshe wrote that, then we don't know who the hell wrote this right here. Somebody else could have been writing. I'll give you another good one. And a question before we go to Exodus 20. I want to show y'all something. This is another good one. Shemot 20. Any questions? Say, Ishala Moreh. Question, Moreh. Ishala Moreh. Even look at the very first word of Exodus Shemot 20 and 1. Where everybody gets to hallelujah. The first sentence, the very first sentence of Exodus 20 and 1, it say, Waya the beer. That's third master singular. Prefix conjugation preterite. So is Moshe? Why is Moshe writing in the third person? Now, who is speaking here? Here, the speaker is Elohim. Why is the bill Elohim? Etko Hadabayam Ha'ele no more. So this person is speaking in third person. Who is the subject? Yah is speaking. So you see the verb, why the beer, biblical Hebrew verb, subject, object. You see the verb, you see the subject, Elohim et ko hadabim ha'ele lemor. And the Elohim spoke all these what? Sayings. Now, verse 2. What's verse 2? Verse 2, here's your first person common singular as the subject. He say Anoki. Now the subject is identifying itself. Anoki Yahweh Elohim Ashur Jose Tekar. Me arrest Mr. Am, my baked Abba down. Now the subject is speaking. I'm he that causes to exist, your Eloheka, your God. Ashur, which is your relative, what participle, which Jose Tekar, which is your Hifir, first common single perfect verb, with a second master single pronounced suffix ended on there, which calls you to be erected from the Hifir verb stem, calls you to be erected, okay, from where? From the land of Mishram, from the house of servitude. So we look at the word Jose Tekar. It is the first common single perfect verb with a second master single pronounced suffix ended on here. So the clause is introducing the subject, Ashir. What y'all think is deep, right? So y'all would get to the point where y'all would just not even waste your time arguing with people on social media. You would tell them, listen, you're not even my equal to have this conversation. It's not being prideful. It's still being humble. You're not going to waste your time. So in your English Bibles, it said they were brought out. They were brought, but no. But the word Jose Tekar, if they in the Hitfield verse there, you see that yod there. They was caused to be brought out or be erected from a land of what? From the house of servitude. What y'all thinking? Any questions? Any questions? Mission. And let's look at verse what 3. Verse what 3 said what low. That's your negative participle. Okay, Yehiye. Now they like to try to use that. I think Araya did an excellent video. You see the term Yehiye right there. They try to say even here, oh, Yehiye Asher, how would they have to say Asher well, that's the name of Haya, right? So we see right here the negative participle, we see Yehiye. So Yehiye, it will be what? It just say, could this be a third masculine singular incomplete verb when it calls them third hey verb? So when I say third hey verb, meaning that final hey, you were looking at third hey verbs. That's no, okay. The car, okay. You see the Lamini verse what 3x is 20 and 3. Okay, you see the Lamini preposition, you see your to you, okay, your pronounced suffix ending. Okay, that's your subject. Okay, Elohim. Then you see your masculine plural adjective. What does adjective do? Adjectives in biblical Hebrew is modifying the noun. Okay, we see the word kareem. That's your masculine. Don't take my word for it. That's your masculine plural adjective. Al panah. So the text is saying you should have no other what deity, okay, before my face. Or you want to say before my presence. It would make sense to say upon my face. Come on now. So you have to look at that. Ayin Lamed is used as a preposition. And also, when you look at what Exodus 20 and 3, you can connect that to the book of Hosea, chapter 13, verse 4. Hosea 13 and 4. Let's go there. So the key of it, the key to this right here is to try attempt to get rid of these Bibles when you go in places of fellowship and keep all Hebrew Bible. That's going to force you to read and learn. So I got Hosea chapter 13, verse 4. Give me 1 second, Ryan. 1 second, 1 second. 1 second, Hosea chapter 13, verse 4. Let's see, Hosea 13, 4. Never mind. Read that for me word by word. Read that for me, Ryan. Or one of y'all. Okay, Shanami, repeat. Can you read that first word again and tell me the vowel settings? Yeah. Okay, I want to show y'all something. In 1 second. I want to show y'all a trick. So this save y'all out of town and y'all Talmudine and Talmudine male or female students call y'all phone. So we can go over exercises, what I was taught. So you notice that Araya gave us the vowels. He mentioned a no key. Okay. They also told us the consonants. So we see the subjects. Okay, a no key, that is your first personal pronouns, the subject. We see the term Yahweh. Okay, we see the next word, we see Elaheka. So he that calls this your God, your power. Okay. Now notice that the deity is saying where he's from, the land of Mizraim, right? So let's say if you're out of town, you're traveling, you ask your students, tell you the consonants, tell me the vowel settings, and you will eventually be able to identify whether it's a noun or a verb. That's going to be a day giveaway. Because I kept saying to my teacher, how the hell you know this stuff? Then he finally told me. And I was like, well, gee, thanks. That's all the years. So the vowels is going to tell you whether that's a noun or a verb. All right, I want to let y'all know that. Then next time we see the word we, Lohim, Zulati, Lotida, Umoshia, Ayin Beti. Okay, so we see from verse 4 that the deity identify himself, where he's from, right? Now for that, we see the other words, Lihim. I'm sorry, Lohim. So Lohim mean what? So you're seeing that he said we should have no other deity, what? Except for him or besides him, right? They went on to say, Lo Tida. So Tida mean what? Could it be to know? Come from the shortest root, Yada, that is to know. So the text is saying you do not know, O Mashiach, nor the Savior. So again, you're dealing with another Hifil verse then right there on the word U Mashiach. That's your Hifil verse stem. So when people say that I'm saved, how are you saved? Are you saved as, Hifil, called, or noun? Because the word Yeshua or Yasha is a verb, but we conjugate this word Mashiach, okay? The text is saying you ain't no other what Savior, except who? He is the cause to this your power. Then you see another negative participle, ayin belti. And belti mean what? What does it mean? Beit lamet tau yod. Messiah, excellent. Okay, that's it. There ain't no other Savior besides the Most High. He is the King of Kings. This is right in the book of Hosea. O Mashiach. As a matter of fact, you can see the same verb, O Mashiach, in Isaiah 33 and 22, where it says, I'm your lawgiver. I'm not going to quote it. Let's go to it before we close out. Let's go to Isaiah 33. But I want y'all to highlight that. I'm going to highlight this in my Tanakh. O Mashiach. Highlight that. I'm going to highlight in mine. Because we got to remember, brothers, 33, verse 22. Religion, I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. But I want y'all to really go forward today and think about what I'm about to say. Sometimes leaders in ignorance, I'm going to say ignorance, they try to put fear into the people to believe something that not actually what true. It's called fear tactics. Well, if I can put fear in you to believe what I believe, or convince you to take all your free will of thinking, and I want you to think like me, then that's another concept of cultic teaching and taking away your freedom, your ability to think for yourself. And even in Israel, some that all still use fear tactics to keep you in bondage in your mind. So when I teach Hebrew Bible, I always deal with time periods. And how can I make it make sense today in this present time right now? So I always ask leaders, when you're teaching on the Shabbat, you're teaching a feast day, how are you making it make sense? Because now I got to ask you, when the prophet wrote this biblical text, who was he speaking to at that time? And how does it apply to us today? Stop trying to take something the prophet wrote thousands of years ago. He dealt with those people at that time period in that location. How does that affect us in this geographic location that we in today? Those are simple, tough questions, right? So when we don't ask those questions, then we get the fear tactics. Well, if you don't do this right here, the Most High can tear your ass up. Well, there are millions of us still in the church. We don't know. It's called mercy. So I can read about all four parents being disobedient and y'all sending me to different captivity, Syrian captivity, Babylonian captivity, Egyptian captivity, American captivity, the different captivities of the world today. Ezekiel 37 speaks about Yah scattering his people among the four corners of the earth. But he asked the prophet a good question. Well, the prophet asked Yah a good question, can these dry bones live? And he said, only you know what Yah prophesies. And that was the great army in the house of Israel, which the house of Israel is coming back even in modern times. But we got to make it make sense. Y'all see what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? We're waking up all over the world. But when we deal with prophecy, we got to be very careful when we deal with prophecy and when things happen and when things is going to happen, or did things just happen at that time period and we are reinventing the wheel to put fear in the people. Y'all with me? Really think about it. Y'all ever seen a teaching to where the elder or the Moreh try to put fear in y'all? This could happen. Yeah. And think about it. Think about so many of our people, loved ones that have crossed over, and our preachers and bishops, they taught what they understood at that time. And my most painful moment came after years of studying. I had to accept the fact I have to be very mindful and careful what I teach to people when I open up the Hebrew Bible. And I have to be transparent, I have to be honest with them. And I can't lie to the people. And I can't put fear tactics to the people's minds to make them get the word. Either you want it, you don't want it, get the stepping. I'm not gonna waste my time with you. Wish you the best. Go eat off somebody else's table. And when you be straight up like that with people, brothers, it's gonna be less stressful. You won't go through the things I went through, uh, trying to deal with grown folks that still dealing with issues from childhood. So this is why I'm pushing this group so powerful. So once they get where they need to get, then I'm gonna fall back and let y'all run with it. Then I'll pull one or two of you with me. Then we can start more counseling. We start another group where we just focus on counseling people. You see what I'm saying? That's the vision. Then we'll start the school of the prophets, right? So there's a lot of study material I have to share with y'all. So let's look at the scripture right here before we go. Isaiah 33:20. You see the word key, right? Key, that's your conjunction. It's a key, Yohewahe, okay? Shof Tadenu. He that calls us as our judge. And Yahweh, he's what? Mikuk Kenu. He's our judge. And he's what? He's our lawgiver, right? And Yohewahe, he's what? Mel Kinu, he's our king. You see the subject, the person subject matter, what? Who? Third master singing what? Who? He, Yoshia, Yoshi Anu. Okay, he will cause us to be what? Saved. That's another Hitfield verse now. To save just means to be rescued from one place and taken to another place. That's what it means. That's all save means. So when people say that I'm saved, they mean, what are you saved from exactly? Because you see, you saved from sin. You're flesh and blood. We also have a sinful nature. But so when y'all are counseling people, you have to be able to explain to that. When they say they're saved, when they come to you and say, well, I'm saved and filled with the Holy Spirit. Well, what are you saved from? What did the deity save you from? Did he save you from yourself? It's like the post I posted today on making vows. On making vows, right? And the post I wrote today on making vows was part of yesterday's Torah portion that me and Memo taught. You cannot impose a vow on a person if they first don't understand what a vow is within the culture. That don't make any sense. You know why? Every time they say something, they can break that vow. And you just can get frustrated. So you gotta say, okay, well, first, as a teacher, I got to make my nada. I got to make my nada to Yah, my vow, and I got to pay my vow to Yah. There are some vows, let's be honest, brothers, that we have seen in ignorance, that if it weren't for grace and mercy, we wouldn't be here. The Most High would have annihilated us, or he would have caused something to happen to us. Because we say things because under peer pressure, or we say things because we was in a vulnerable state. We say things out of ignorance. So that's why the prophets are coming back and say, Yah is our judge, he's our lawgiver, he's our king, he will save us. Well, how y'all gonna save us? He can save us by raising up Morehs, elders, Kohanims, to bring forth his word and teach us his word in the most simplest term that we can get it. Any questions before I let y'all go, brothers? No questions? Oh, merci on, merci on. Yes, yes. Merci on. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? Ask us before I let y'all go.
No, I don't have none, Moreh.
Okay. Merci on, brothers. I tour by y'all for y'all give me y'all a little bit of time today, brothers. Definitely, y'all need me, hit me up, man. But the Most High bless y'all, man. Bless y'all and y'all mitzvah call and everything y'all put for y'all hand to touch in y'all family. Shalom, shalom, Ben Israel. Shalom, shalom.
Great job. Sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the heathens and wonder amongst the people. Every morning and evening I give him praise. The false gods are vain by the Most High. The skies was made, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, these times don't change. I guide my steps, direct and devise my ways. Honor and majesty, my Yah retain. Beauty is in the sanctuary amongst the saints. Give Yah glory and strength. Search far and wide across the seven seas for a sign, but never seen a God alive like Yah, my Elohim.